There. Ooh. All right. Today is All Saints Day or Day of the Dead. And I wanted to talk about something else that is a special thing today, and that is Author's Day, but also World Vegan Day. First, I want to tell you a little bit about me and authors. I bet a lot of you guys actually did not know that I'm actually a published author. Yes. Actually, I'm a published poet. Really quickly, the things I first got published in this little bad boy, covering the date or the year so you don't know my name. I also want to say really quickly that I grew up in a generation, so my viewpoints are going to be my personal experiences. For example, I lived in a generation where we were told not to put your first real name or even your last name, not even your address or your phone number. And so when I found someone on the hula hooping world who found my real name and posted it all over the place, I told them to please take it down, and they didn't respond. Not really respectable for privacy reasons, and I don't really interact with that person as much anymore, despite a hula hooper in the flow arts. So again, a lot of this stuff about me covering my name when I show you my published works is just for safety reasons. So this is a talk really quickly for those authors out there who would like to get published. So for me, I wanted to get published before I was 18. And when you have a goal and you have steps, bam, it happens. It works. So our school, we were supposed to submit some works. And so technically I got published by the school, but I don't really count that. What I did was when my mom got sick and was in the hospital, she told me to write my feelings down. And when she died, my aunt gave me a journal and said, you could be the voice of those going through the same thing. I'm very cognizant of the fact that when I post something online, when I have something on any social media, I'm aware that I'm not speaking just about my experience. I'm trying to connect with others, and I'm not saying my life is easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, or that it's void of hardships. I've had a lot of people say, oh, thank you for including the fact that your hula hoop flew off and like it wasn't perfect. Life isn't perfect. And if I can impart some wisdom, then that's great. But I wanted to share with you how you could be published before 18. Really quickly, if you want to be published, write whatever you want to do and then mail it to yourself. The trick is to not open it. And technically you are published, but that's not how it happened with me. The minute that you open it, then it's like the government gave you the envelope and you opened it, so it's not published anymore. So I had tons and tons of poems, and I had a lot of people telling me, oh, this is really depressing. Well, no, duh. My mom just died, and I don't really know how to process like cooking. How do you do that? Right? She's Asian, and as a kid, I didn't like a lot of the stuff that kids liked, which I guess it made me skinny, but very confusing time. So I purposely tried to make funny things and quirky things. And then I started looking at connections of the world and, like Avatar Last Airbender stuff where it really all connected. And so I just decided that I wanted to get published before 18, found a website, submitted it, and did not plan for this. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. See, I got an award. I did not actually, I kind of forgot that I forgot that I won this, and then I didn't have this on hand for this little video. But I probably should read it. Outstanding achievements in poetry given by the International Society of Poets, by down there. And then July 23rd, 2016, and then part of my name. So the idea is that I'll show you really quickly what it looks like. And I wasn't sure if it was a real legit place because it's always like the first page my stuff's on. So the first one's about time and its glory and how we're always sitting there saying, oh, where'd the time go? But it's like because it's always here and you're just so busy that you're not stopping to take time and notice things. And the other one was when my friend passed away when we were both 15 or 16. And it was a poem about what she gave the world. That's what it's titled, What She Gave the World. And just how someone who has a cystic fibrosis who might be small or weak or a girl or whatever can really bring a light into your life. A quote I'm going to take from my first video I ever posted, I love that video, is a candle never diminishes by sharing its light. So the fact that if you have something to say, then say it. And I tell my students this all the time when they're like, wow, you got published. I tell them, keep writing, keep journals, do it for deliberate practice for your instrument, write down blueprints for ideas for inventions. You don't know if it's going to be a song or if it's going to be an invention, if it's going to be a book or a recipe. Just write whatever comes to mind. I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to write, but there's beauty in calligraphy even. You don't have to write by the book in cursive. So I kind of want to talk a lot more about that. I will say for those artists out there, it is really, really hard to just sit your butt down and write and to sit there and edit and to try to figure out why your characters are doing what they're doing. It's like having a lot of friends that just don't stop talking. But a trick that someone had mentioned to me, and it's beautiful. One of the kids in my class gave me a candle, and I was like, oh, it's my meditation candle. But you can do this as well with other things. So if it's really hard for you to sit down and write, find a placemat so that you can take that placemat anywhere you go. And when you sit down, you're in the zone. Like your mind sees it and just clicks. Okay, I'm in writing. Or maybe get a candelabra. It's a candle, and I hope I'm using that right, but like it's lots of candles or even just one candle, or maybe light a candle or have like, I don't know, a little tiny doohickey next to you. So you're like, okay, I'm in writing mode. I also have something called a time timer, which helps kids with ADHD or time management or procrastination. And especially as an adult, it's a lifesaver. So just write for 10 minutes a day. I have a lot of kids in my class who say, I don't know what to write, and we have to do our daily journal. And I'm grading their stuff. So I literally say, write whatever is coming to your mind. Even if it is, I don't know what to write and I'm stuck and I have a booger that I want to pick, right? Thank you, Mr. Scott, for that compliment. And Jenny, not me. See, now you know my real name, and I feel really awkward about that. So now that it's been 7 minutes, I don't know if there's any other advice about writing. I do so much research. I feel like a lot of writing is research. And with that research, great segue. World Vegan Day. All right, I'm going to tell you 2 stories. You make up your mind. And it's a story about 2 people who said, I could never be vegan. Okay, which one do you identify with? When I was learning to be a teacher, the teacher that was teaching the teachers had said that it's our job to give information and be accountable and give these kids the best at life. And in that same class period, it somehow veganism was brought up. And I remember she was packing up and saying, oh, I could never do that. And then, everyone left. And I thought, how does that relate to we need to educate kids all the way to like, I don't want to do it. I could never do it. When I'm in school and I tell a kid, do this and that, they're like, oh, I can't do it. And I always say, well, that's half the battle. When you think you can, that's half the battle. So you have to have a right mindset, right? And I feel guilty because I already just put my own personal viewpoint into the story when I just asked you to like come up with it yourself. The other story is that I had another person who I never thought would be able to be vegan, and I never even asked. And it was because every sleepover, this person would sneak down into my house, open the cupboards, and eat some cheese until the fact my mom would kind of catch them and say, like, stop doing this. They would get hyper off of Parmesan cheese. And this person was always on, their parents were in the health industry. And so they were always on a diet, starting from the age of like 8, 9, 10. A diet, for those of you who don't understand the definition yet, is you're changing something in your food, how you intake it. Those who say, oh, I'm on a keto diet, I'm on this diet, normally it's said by people who just want to lose weight for a short period of time. And that short period of time could be a month, 4 months, 6 months, all the way until their wedding day for like, a year or however long it is. So diet just means that you are doing something in your life. And did you know that your body changes every 7 years? So you might have to change it because your body is changing. And you're not going to know, oh, I can't eat almonds anymore. Okay, I got to figure that out. So this person uh, loves cheese. And one day they couldn't do that anymore because even their doctor said, based off their health condition, they had to kind of give it up for a little bit. And afterwards, they were talking to me and they said, "You're right," because now I'm putting my own perspective in here, right? They said it is just salt, and they didn't cut meat from their diet, but they had said something along the lines of like, and I can see how meat would just be texture. So as far as veganism, I'm really making this video because it's Author's Day and I love that. But also, I'm a flexitarian and I haven't grocery shopped today, so this is more a reminder for myself. Um, like I told you in the beginning, I didn't have my mom cooking for us growing up. I also was a very unusual kid. They used to call me the chip queen. Do you want your chips? No. Good. Thank you. Do you want your chips? No. That was me in first grade. So in Halloween yesterday, people were passing out chip bags and some of the kids were complaining. And I was like, I would love that. I would rather have savory over salty or over sweet. So that's just me. All right. I've always grown up not liking sugar. I never liked bread. And I attribute all this to my mom's Asian genes. And I actually didn't become vegan because I wanted to. I did it because it was an accident. And I didn't eat for 2 days. And someone important in my life had kind of realized this and tried to teach me, hey, let's just go to this store and show you this kind of food to eat and all this kind of stuff. And the reason that I freaked out, first off, I was watching it because I was trying to learn how to cook vegetables. When you don't have a mom growing up, you have so many people saying, "Oh, that's not normal. That's not my life isn't normal. Stop comparing me. Please stop it." And so I wanted to learn how to cook instead of having fast food and starting with vegetables. Because if you're not making a lot of money, you're on the lower spectrum of income, whether you're in your early 20s or whatnot, you realize that meat's actually really expensive. And if you want to make that go far, then $10 of that one package has to go for the whole week. So one of the reasons I can't be vegan is because of Peking duck. Yeah, sorry guys. And also because when I go to people's houses, I empathize, I sympathize, and they go, "I'm so sorry, like I don't have anything to." Don't worry about it. Seriously, like it's me. It's up to me. That's my decision. That's my choice. If I have some, I just don't like cheese, except for mozzarella and brie. So I have my options and some other stuff. But if something comes to me and it has cheese on it, I don't like making a big deal. It's not that big of a deal. Just scoop it and right. I'm not a big deal like that. Um, my mind's going all over the place, so I'm hoping you guys are like still listening. So when I was looking at how to cook vegetables, one of the things that freaked me out was not a lot of the stuff that vegan people probably talk about. The animals, the environment, da 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 da. Say what you want to say, but the one thing that freaked me out to not eat anything for 2 days, I was just like so scared, is that the stickers that you see on those packages, you think that they're put there by the government. You think that people process and look at it and they value it. But to find out that that doesn't mean anything, that it's not actually saying it's safe, the fact that one person checks out one of 300 meat industries and packing, whatever, in a year, 300. There are 365 days in a year. Do you really think that person has the time to go back to the first place they went to over and over again? Right? So that's crazy. Another one was, when you have like an injury, like there's like pus, ugh, gross, sorry, right? But there's also, if you have a disease, right? You've had people in the hospital and you're like, oh, that's sad. Or you have someone who has cancer, a tumor, what have you. If you want to look at another video I posted when I was in school in film degree, I had to watch a show or a documentary called Cowspiracy. And I knew this information back then, but to have it reinstated like 5-10 years later freaked me out. And the idea is that all that pus, all that disease, all the tumors and cancers, do you really think that there's a doctor on hand to find the animals and take care of them and then make sure that they're not in line to get killed and grounded and made into your hamburgers, meat, sauce, all that stuff? That is really scary, especially if you have something like disease and cancer in your family. So I was scared. But the thing about being vegan is that a lot of people will knock it off before they even try it. And I have an issue with that because I'm not allowed to be rude at the dinner table, but other people are. It's the ability to, I really wish I could look at someone and say, why is your face looking like you're getting fatter? Are you even working out? How's that gym membership treating you? Are you even doing leg day? That is so rude. Why would you do that? Right? So why would that be allowed at the dinner table? Oh, where do you get your protein? Are you getting enough to eat? Can I just order and have you guys consistently keep talking about sports, preferably hockey, because I prefer that over everything? Like, why does it have to stop and be judging me? As an educator, I need to educate. As someone who doesn't have a mom, I want to learn what it is to have people. As someone who has an Asian heritage, who it's different death customs and rituals and traditions, I had to look at the world. Well, kids were 12 years old. Becky's looking at me weird, and Bobby doesn't like my outfit, and blah, 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 blah. And I sat there looking at the world. How do other cultures celebrate life and death? How I love food. I love food. Do not underestimate the fact I love food because you can learn so much about a culture and a group of people, a tradition, idea, location, environment. Because sometimes, for example, rice doesn't grow in South American countries as easily as it could in another place. It doesn't mean that it doesn't grow, just different types, different forms. And to sit there and say, that's bad, that's wrong. Bad and wrong for whom? Who? As a teacher, I feel bad that I never know how to use that. And I feel like a grammar Nazi doing that. Anyway, so it's better to be educated. The teacher I told you, the head teacher teaching the teachers. How are you actually able to talk to people as if you know what you are talking about if you've never tried it? So something that I wanted to do, and I'm always like, oh, I was vegan. And everyone's like, yeah, for 3 months. Okay. It was really hard. I know the first month is like just transition, just trying to get your head in that mindset. The second month is making it a habit. And the third month is when your body starts to physically change. So the first one's transition. And then a lot of athletes, professional athletes, have said that within the first day, even the first week, they've noticed that their mindset has improved. And there are so many other documentaries about sports. I was gonna say sports players. Oh my gosh, I feel like Zach Braff or Scrubs. Yes. Like athletes who've said that they were making fun of their friend and they were in football, but then they all tried it. They actually like more energized, and they for some reason they were just started to win. So it's creative. I had a student draw a stick figure for his little first grade buddy, and that was supposed to be, guess what costume I am? And I said, can you just add some shapes, please? Like circle, triangle, whatever. And he sat there saying, I just can't. I can't like everybody else. I'm not a good artist. And I told him, like, that's half the battle. You have to think that you can do it. And then, I was like, well, you have to get this in because everyone's thing is going to their buddies tomorrow. Well, you're just comparing me. You compared yourself first. And I'm reiterating the information back to you. And if that information sounds harsh, it's because you're the one saying it. You have to put the effort in before you say, I can't do it. I can't. Right? The girl who loved cheese realized that it's not something she has to have like every time in her food. And what freaked me out with vegan stuff, I'm going to the bad stuff again, is that most of the food in the middle of the aisles have unnecessarily added sugar and even eggs and all that stuff. Now, for me, like I said, growing up, I didn't like sugar in bread. What's in bread normally? Eggs. I normally didn't even like, scrambled eggs. I'll somewhat tolerate omelets, but I love eggs in stir fry and egg drop soup. Yes. That being said, I remember my second month of doing the vegan thing, and I was telling my dad, who is not Asian, I was like, it's so hard. It's so hard. Realistically, I just sprinkled taco seasoning on everything the first month. When he just looked at me and said, you're Asian. And I was like, what? Huh? What? I get it. Yeah. Yep. I'm just being a complainer now. Because if you think about how people cook food or the land or the mass amount of people or traveling, you start to realize that some places don't have easily accessible meat. You get a meat, you get a meat, you get a meat. Like that's so weird, like pork and stuff. I personally, even if I wasn't flexitarian and vegan, like I've just chosen not to eat chicken because half the time people overcook it and it's dry. I don't want to be sitting there pretending like I'm chewing on a Charleston chew here or bubble gum. That's not the point. See, I love food. Like, respect it, dude. Respect it. So, to have fun on a positive note of veganism, I wanted to show some fun books because even if you are not vegan or flexitarian or anything of that, I have these books I love, and I really love reading them out loud. Like, all right, step 1, do this. Step 2, oh, I can't read that one out loud. Oh, all right. You have to be in the right environment for these kind of books. Thug Kitchen. And the reason is, read the title. Thug Kitchen. Eat like a give up. All right, so you can imagine the directions are like, put a ton of into the, messed up sauce. Like they talk to you like they're having fun. The other one is, I was just like, oh, look, The Big Bang Theory. And I am someone that goes by pictures. So a lot of the stuff that I was like, oh, I can't do vegan stuff. It's a lot of creativity. It's a lot of, I have students been like, I can't eat vegan. I don't like it. I don't eat it. I'm like, do you eat miso soup? Do you eat guacamole? What about salsa? Right? What about hummus? And you might be sitting there telling me, oh, cookbooks are the best, right, Scott? So like, oh, here's some other one that you might like. My dad is super big on apple cider vinegar, and then I'm realizing that it's a miracle worker too. But then my sister loves lemons. It can clean the drain. It could clean windows and shit. So basically, like, these are other cookbooks if you want to figure out more things to do with them. If you want to make your cooking good no matter what you are cooking, no matter what diet you are on, I don't have this book. Just watch it on Netflix. Heat, fat, salt, and acid. Well, this is salt, but that could be salt too. Sometimes it's basically going back to the basics. The real reason that I was learning how to cook was because my dad loves almonds. And I have a hard time eating nuts for some reason. I'm not allergic to it. But I had an almond one day and I started having an allergic reaction. And I was like, what is going on with me? I wanted to start at the base root to figure out what I can and can't have. And working at school, at a preschool where we had cooking classes, which is so great. The cooking teacher's daughter was vegan. And so without me telling her to do this, she made a vegan cooking class. And it was so fun for the kids to realize that how they see their parents cook every day could be creative and unique because they're still learning. They're creative. They're learning about the world around them. Jackfruit tacos and, like vegan yogurt parfaits and stuff. I'm just like chipping out. I like to live my drink. No, it's just plants. That's how much I love plants and vegans and stuff. I don't know why I showed that. I think I just smacked it and was like, I want to show you guys what I made. But it's hard. It's really hard. It's like heartbreaking that these kids go from their mom's breast milk all the way to complex things that their body can't take. Imagine, I've had so many people say, well, I love it for the taste. I love non-vegan stuff for the taste. That's great. You eat it for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you're talking to people, but then think about the next day. Your stomach grumbles, you feel pressure. That's probably like 5 minutes, 2 minutes maybe. And then you go to the bathroom and maybe you're in there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Some guys I know are like 25 minutes. And then afterwards, depending on how crazy it was in the bathroom, you're still not feeling so good. So the alternative to it tastes good is you're not going to feel good the next few days. That's on me. That's my body at least. Right? It's up to you to figure out how your body functions and works. But realistically, really give it an honest, earnest effort. Don't sit there and say, I'm going to do it for 30 days and see how I feel. 30 days is how you make something a habit. Would you practice the violin for 30 days and then say you know how to play a song? No, you barely even know how to hold the bow and the violin correctly. And now I'm just speaking from experience. But you have to give yourself the real effort. If you do the no shampoo, no conditioner routine, there's something called a transition phase, which takes about a month. So if you're doing that on the external, something that's outside your body, think about internally inside. So I don't really know I brought this out. I think I just wanted to show how much I love cooking. Here is my mom's cookbook. You can totally tell it's like the 80s, and I love it. I don't have her. I don't have bookmarks in here of anything she made. I don't know what recipes she used. Cooking and food is like feeling comfort and going back home. In fact, in psychology, they say that the number one thing that makes you feel homesick the fastest and the most is when you don't have food that you feel comforted. Like if you were to go study abroad and you eat all of their food, you're going to get homesick faster than if you had a little bit of snacks from your country to kind of ease you into that. So home food is very personal for people. A lot of people kind of treat talking about it like politics and religion. If you talk to someone about parenting, oh God, don't, oh my God. If someone is open, they'll be like, okay. But if someone is scared about the new scary information, they'll say, how dare you? I don't agree with that. They only have one kid. Maybe they have six. Maybe they have 16. All right. Maybe. But if they're in a class environment and they see kids and they see how kids act with eating and all that stuff, then maybe they have a different tune. But parenting, religion, and politics are very similar to cooking. This is my little thing. You can't even see it because of light. But and this is not vegan at all. I guess my thing is find something that works for you. Because if you're trying to put, I had this on my Twitter a while back, and it was literally a quote from somebody else. And I'm not going to quote it exactly. I'm going to paraphrase. If you sit there and say, "Oh, that's so rude that you forced your kid to eat vegan," right? One of my best friends when I was growing up, their sister was vegan just because, well, they never put meat in her food and they just never had it. She was vegan just by accident or something. I don't know, association. I thought it was weird, but then someone brought this up. You put your kid in front of Peppa Pig, a TV show about a talking pig going through her day-to-day life, while you give them a bacon sandwich. There's a disassociation. And so when they grow up, that's going to be the disassociation. This year, I got in trouble because I got frustrated and I literally had to walk out the room, take a breather, and then walk back in the other room. Because the question that a 9-year-old boy had for me was, what's the female word for chicken? And it became a whole entire thing about, okay, well, it's a hen. No, it's something else. Like, he didn't know the name for rooster. What happens to we eat so much chicken, so many hens. What's going on with the roosters? We don't eat roosters. We don't do anything with roosters. Why don't you research what happens when they find out that something that's hatched, that's a boy? What happens to it? It's really creepy and disgusting. I could go into, if you call yourself a feminist, think about that every single time you eat cheese, right? And there's a word that we can't say in our society right now that starts with an R, but that's what happens every single time because cows are mammals, and I don't want to do the science lesson. But when I was an adult and I sat there realizing this information, wait, I'm a mammal, they're a mammal, that happens to them. And like, oh, that's why they think it's okay to happen to us because they have a disassociation with this animal because it's so common. Whatever. And I know some people are like, well, in caveman times, we ate meat. Did you know that we haven't been cavemen since any type of civilization? Roman civilization, Greek civilization, Eastern civilization, right? So there is disassociation with information alone. If you saw my Instagram on Halloween or near it, it was like, basically, if there's information that's scary, it's worse to pretend that it doesn't exist, that it's fake, than it is to do the hard work and say, okay, now that I know the information, I'm going to actually apply it to my life. Like, oh, the Me Too thing? Okay, what am I doing? Okay, I'll fix that. To be in an environment where people don't want to think about it and go, that's just what you guys are saying, that's unsafe and that's dangerous. At the end of the day, you are capable to do anything you want. Do you want to write about these ideas? Then get it published. Do you want to try these ideas and cook it? Go for it. No one's sitting there telling you not to do it. It's better for you to give it an honest, earnest effort and try. Give it 3 months for your body to figure out, like, this is how I am. And some people don't go back to vegan, and that's okay. I'm not saying I am again, flexitarian. Again, just because it's a lot of pressure and stuff. But the thing is, I cook for myself, so I don't have to label it anything. And the one thing I'll say that's really fun about cooking vegan, I'm sorry, I get so giddy about this. It's like this empowerment feeling when you're just walking in the grocery store and you're going to like the produce section, and then you get all your stuff and you're like, cool, I'm done. I'm done shopping. And then, like, obviously there's frozen food aisles and stuff like that, but there's just this empowerment knowing that you are in control of what you're eating. You don't have to worry about what's in the package or how much butter did someone put in. And like, I've been trying to eat a non-flexitarian, non-vegan diet, and I don't feel as good as I did when I was actually putting in the work and doing a lot of hard work. But the thing is, when you do something hard, like flow, for example, flow only works if you're doing something that's challenging, but you can still do it. So whether it's creativity, you can do it. You just got to believe in it. Whether it's telling yourself, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat that diet. Can you, or are you just nervous and scared? Like a student, I'm going to get gross with this. Like a student realizing what happens to the mummification process in the jars that happens in the burial process. Like, you don't want to accept that's what happens because it's like, why would people do that? Oh my gosh. But it's not up to you to say it didn't happen or it's not true. So I'm going to get off topic, or I'm getting off topic, so I'm going to stop right now. I will say the other holidays are Author's Day, National Brush Day. Boy, Bristol brush, cool. Calzone Day, Job Action Day, All Saints Day, World Vegan Day, Day of the Dead, Movember. I don't know what that is, but now I'm going to go back to responding to people's comments. Oh yeah, I think it said validation thoughts. It says, "I love your hooping videos, and I'm vegetarian. Thank you so much for valuable thoughts." And you're gorgeously beautiful and pretty for yourself, for getting out there, trying something new like hula hooping, and finding that beauty and creativity of just being yourself. Brene Brown had said that when you belong, right, when you try to fit in, you no longer belong. Belonging is sometimes when you have to kind of figure out who you are, even if that means breaking away from people. So the fact that you're breaking away, Miss Minnie Moon Apps, Mono Apps, you're a delight already, and you never needed anyone to tell you otherwise. I just love people who are just fully authentically themselves. Yeah, I know. I wanted to post a video after a long time because a lot of my students are like, you got a YouTube video? I've had 2 classes and I have to be keeping it on the down low because if I post something, I'll hear the next day, you talked about us in your video. So I'm just like, all right, scary. Yeah, and I want to do more hula hooping videos, but I'm like, I don't know what else you guys want to learn except for me just having more fun. I don't know. I got a lot more stuff like beatboxing, violin, film, and all these other avenues. Just got so much stuff on my Pinterest. Yes, I'll try to keep posting because I saw all the events and fun things for November, and I was like, I'll try to keep posting. Yes, I have a lot of my hula hoops still. I have hula hoops in my car. I have hula hoops in my closet. I have hula hoops right near the door. So when I open up my screen to garden, it always gets stuck, and I'm like, ah, darn. Yeah. I don't know how to hula hoop and show it because I'm always just like, there's always videos they could watch. I don't want to be doing it just to show off. Maybe like a Selena Gomez song when I'm actually inspired and I want to do it. Or anytime I feel emotional, I guess. I don't know. Maybe doing random voices. And then, I thought someone was talking about SMR. I don't know what that is, but anyway, thank you, Scott and Minnie, and Minnie, Mono Apps, and Jenny. No, Jenny, you are someone, Jenny. But her name is Jenny Nobody, so I'm just like, you are everybody. I have a hard time saying goodbye and ending conversations. Hi, Kabuki Forever. Did I say that right? Kabuki Forever. What? Kabuki, is that the theater? I love art. Is that like the Japanese type of theater when they kind of like come out and each pose is very structured and emotional, but it's very still? Just kind of curious about that. Um, Otherwise, trying to think of, I will end with a very nice quote. I was going to do Gandalf, but I always do that one. Brene Brown. Um, Today, courage over comfort. And I don't know her. Oh, Jenny Rimini, Riminey. She's on my Instagram during my window caption quotes during COVID. Hers was growth, comfort, and growth do not coexist. So if this information was very uncomfortable, sorry, I'm an educator, in every sense of the term. And at least you learned something, silver lining. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, okay, I was gonna say Ashley Renee. Renee or Renee? I always love that name. Um, if I'm wondering like what kind of videos you want to do for hula hooping because I don't know. I'm kind of doing double hooping, and I said I was going to do a video about plane changes going from vertical to horizontal. I tried working with Star Hoops. I'm not going to finish that brand name about having a walk hoop jam, but things didn't actually happen. So I could do something about that. But hey, Tanea! Hey, hi! Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. Sorry, guys, it's my fellow hoop camper. Oh my gosh, I want to give you an air hug if it wasn't for COVID. At least you know my reaction's genuine. I kind of forgot this is live. Yeah, I love how it says hoop camp. I didn't even have to read the rest of it. Yes, in and out. See, you guys, I don't. Ew, I just spat, and I'm very open about what just happened. Um, of course, that was before I went to vegan, but yeah, Danae, if you're in the area, even though it's raining and overcast, let me know if you want to hula hoop and like what song and music you're into. Because I want to get more into music too, and maybe I'll do music videos because I want to get more into making more videos that way. Um, I also wanted to do a review of The King of Staten Island because if you haven't watched that film, please watch it. Um, Yay, air hug! Oh, I felt it. Oh my god. I love it. Okay, I will let you guys go and enjoy preparing your food right now or enjoying your life because we're busy as and get your food on no matter what it is. And if it's Peking duck, then just like sending you good vibes. All right, I'll see you guys later. Keep on writing. It's like keep on writing, guys. And oh, and ignore my Asian bear, all right? Because I'm very aware and cognizant that it's really weird that an adult has like an Asian thing, but her mom gave her. Me too. So, bye. Sayonara. We'll see if this actually ends when I click the button. Bye.